Ukrainian authorities say their forces are under constant attack in Bakhmut, with Russian troops advancing. The town has become a key battleground in recent months. A Russian takeover of Bakhmut would open the way to the control of urban centres in Donetsk. But Ukraine's president says Bakhmut will be defended as long as it takes. Well, I'm joined now by Gulliver Cragg, our correspondent in Ukraine. He's in Kyiv. Gulliver, it looks as though it's becoming harder and harder for the Ukrainians around Bakhmut. Will they be able to hold on to this town?
Well, it does look as though Bakhmut is increasingly surrounded. For a long time during this period of intense pressure on Bakhmut, for weeks, the city was in a way surrounded on three sides. Now it looks more like a sort of horseshoe shape if you look at the map, because the Russian forces have taken areas to the north of Bakhmut and are really closing in, attacking the city now from both the north and south. We spoke a few days ago to one of the Ukrainian commanders in charge of the forces at Bakhmut, and he told us that there were two roads that the Ukrainian forces were able to use to get in and out of the city, one being the main one, which goes basically westwards from Bakhmut towards Chasiv Yar and Konstantinivka, and the other one, a smaller road passing a bit further to the north, but also getting round to Chasiv Yar. And he said, this commander at the time, that the northern road was the safer of the two, and that the one running due west was basically a bit too close for comfort in terms of being within range of the Russians' artillery. If you look now at the map of where the Russians are, they're actually closer to that smaller northern road. So one can only deduce from that that basically both of the roads that the Ukrainian forces are using in and out of Bakhmut are coming under heavy fire all the time. So that is clearly complicating matters for the Ukrainians. General Syrskyi, one of the deputy commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, he says that there are reinforcements going in. I think it's in the form of new tank battalions, and he said that he welcomed this news, but whether or not that's going to be enough to turn the tide remains to be seen. Privately, a lot of Ukrainian service people have been saying that they think it's only a matter of time that Bakhmut can hold on for in terms of remaining under Ukrainian control. Though, of course, they vow to take it back if they ever do lose it.
And Bakhmut isn't the only front where the Russians are attacking at the moment.
Yes, well, that's the thing, actually. Bakhmut is the only front where the Russians are enjoying any kind of success. It's absolutely clear the Russians have managed to take some highly strategically or tactically important territory to the north of Bakhmut, but there are at least 5 other places along the front line in the east of Ukraine, in Donbass, where the Russians are attacking. And the Ukrainians are increasingly convinced that this is it. This is the much talked up counteroffensive that Ukrainians and their Western allies were worried about, that the Russians would stage a major counteroffensive, and they haven't really managed to take any territory or make any significant gains anywhere else other than Bakhmut. And so I think that Ukrainian fears that towns such as Liman, taken back by the Ukrainian armed forces in the autumn, that's in the north of Donetsk region, which were thought to possibly be under threat of perhaps falling back into Russian hands, that those fears are beginning to subside, because despite sending huge numbers of men over to attack the Ukrainian forces, they just seem to be, for now anyway, being pushed back every time.
OK, thanks very much.